In the first story told about him, David was only a peasant boy. Until one day, God spoke to the prophet Samuel.
I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem, for I have found myself a king among his sons.
Samuel journeyed to Jesse's home to search for the future king.
Samuel looked at Jesse's eldest son, but Yahweh said to Samuel, "Take no notice of his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. I do not see as human beings see. They look at appearances, but I look at the heart."
One by one, God told Samuel to reject 7 of Jesse's sons.
Samuel then asked Jesse, "Are these all the sons you have?" Jesse replied, "Only the youngest is left. He is looking after the flock." God said, "Get up and anoint him. He is the one."
The Israelites already had a king named Saul, but he was a tormented man who had angered God. Unaware of David's destiny, Saul brought the young boy into his palace to play the harp to soothe his spirits. Soon, David was like a son to Saul. Then one day, word reached the palace that the greatest warrior of the Philistines, Goliath, had challenged the Israelites to send someone out to fight him, one-on-one. No one dared to take up the challenge, except for the king's young harvest.
With his sling in his hand, David went to meet Goliath. The Philistine looked at David, and what he saw filled him with scorn, because David was only a boy. The Philistine said to him, "Come over here, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." But David answered, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord God."
For the writers of the Bible, the story of the underdog, David, killing Goliath was about far more than just one battle.
Despite certain fantasies they entertained of being a powerful people and being more numerous than the stars in the heavens and so forth, they knew that they were tiny people. And there were these vast empires to the south and to the east that could at any moment overwhelm them. So again and again, they stress the idea that there is something more important in the affairs of men than physical power.
After David killed Goliath, his fame spread throughout Israel. King Saul's love turned to jealousy, and he tried to kill David again and again. David fled Saul's court and became an outlaw. Then one night from his hideout, David spotted Saul and his army. To David's men, it was the perfect chance both to save David's life and make him king.
In the dark, David and one of his men made their way towards the enemy force and found Saul lying asleep inside the camp. The man then said to David, "Let me pin him to the ground with his own spear." David replied, "Do not kill him, but let us take the spear beside his head and his pitcher of water, and let us go away."
When he reached a nearby hilltop, David held up Saul's spear and called out to him.
David comes out and makes a big speech to Saul, saying that he has no ill intention against Saul. And all of a sudden, in one of those breathtaking pivots that are so remarkable in biblical narrative, Saul says, "Is it your voice, my son David?" And he cries.
After King Saul died in battle with the Philistines, the young shepherd boy's destiny was finally fulfilled. David was crowned king. But using his new power wisely turned out to be David's greatest challenge. And by far, the most important lessons taught by David's story come from his failures.